And Sangeeta was also there all the time, she was supportive of everything.
One of the most attractive batsmen that the game of cricket has ever seen. He scored 3 centuries in his first 3 test matches. The record is still unbroken. We have with us Mohammad Azharuddin.
Thank you,
Hi,
sir.
Azhar.
Thank you. How are you, sir?
Hi. Did you ever think that a film will be made on you? When you were
When
you were batting, when you were not playing cricket?
Not at all. I mean, it was not even close to my mind whether it was going to be a film made. But when I started playing, I never even thought that I would become such a big cricketer or such a good cricketer. But film, never thought.
तो क्या रिएक्शन था जब पहली बार एकता कपूर ने आपको कांटेक्ट किया and she said that she wants to make a film?
First reaction was no. I said no straight away. No, I'm not going to do that. It's not nice. I don't think it is necessary for me to do or something like that. But then there are a lot of my friends who also persuaded me to, do that. He says, people would want to know about, what happened during that period of time when he was young and all those things. But actually, a lot of people are calling it as a biopic. Actually, it is not a biopic. It's a film based on the events which happened during my life. Like whatever till whatever time we have showed the film to. But as far as I was concerned, I said no to him. But then with a lot of persuading here and there, then I said okay, yes.
What clinched it for Ekta? I mean, ऐसा क्या बोला उसने जो आपने finally हाँ कहा?
Well, I said, people already knew what was happening in my life, what had happened over a period of time. So they said, if you put it on the screen, lot many people will know because there are a lot of your fans who really would like to know what happened during that period of time, what was the hard work you had to do when you were a youngster, and all those things. It has put everything together, and there's so many different angles to it. So I said okay, then fine. I said yes, okay.
Did you have any reservations that regarding the betting controversy? What will they show? क्या दिखाएंगे उन लोग? क्या जरूरत है?
No.
फिर से उसे हम जागृत कर रहे हैं.
No, whatever is shown is with my approval. There is nothing in the film which is not without my approval. Because I was very strict. With whatever it's to be shown. What is the truth? It should be shown like that because
Absolutely.
it should not be blown out of proportion or something like that. So I think it is a very good film. I think people should go and watch it with a positive intent and positive attitude. So I think they will really like it.
Tell me, did you ask Ekta that who is going to play Azhar first, or did she tell you?
Actually, that was not my call.
Was
because that was
also a concern?
So that was not my call. I think it was her call. So I think she is the producer. I think she has all the right to take over if she wants. But I think they did ask me, so I said okay, there is no problem.
How did you train Imran?
Oh, Imran training was like, he was very raw. He had played cricket before, but not to that extent where I had to literally show him how to hold the bat, what
Not as
his stance
gracefully
like.
as you.
No, he started preparing it very well. He prepared well for the job, for his role. And I think it took me almost like the first 2-3 days. It was very tough. I threw the ball underarm so that he would connect with the bat. Sometimes if I had thrown overarm, he wouldn't have been able to connect. So I started throwing underarm for 3-4 days, and after he started connecting, then we started throwing throw downs, and then after maybe 1.5-2 months, we started to bowl at him also. So I think he really worked very hard, and he was being very, very professional when it came to learning. So I think he can play CCL. If any teams take him in CCL, I think he'll be a good player.
Now, after he's learned all the wristy shots of
he'll be a good batsman.
How did you teach him the wristy shots?
It was very hard to teach him. I just showed him. I think he's watched a lot of. It is very difficult to teach somebody how to play. But then when you see on the TV, by watching my footage, I think he has learnt a lot also.
So finally, when you were satisfied, you gave the
yes, of course,
green signal.
Yes.
कि हाँ अभी आप shoot करो.
Yes, of course.
You came down to Mumbai. He flew down to Hyderabad.
Where
was the training happening?
Training happened in Bombay.
Let's go a little back into your cricketing days.
Sure.
Tell me, which innings of yours was the best in your entire career?
It's very hard for me to say which innings. Some innings are played at different times and under different situations. But if you want me to put it in another way, I would say that whichever innings the people who watched me play liked, I think I also like that inning. Personally, if you ask me which was the innings which I really enjoyed, it was like the 100 I scored in Wellington in 1998. The conditions were very, very tough. I think we were 14 for 4 or 5. Then to get 100 in that match was very pleasing because I was struggling for form. at that point of time, because I was not hitting the ball, I was not connecting well. But then on that day, whatever I had decided before I went into bat, one day before in the practice, I put that into practice and it gave the results. That was most important for me, because that was the first time I decided that I should be playing like that, and exactly it went that way.
Okay, but I thought you will say that innings where you outscored Sachin in that partnership of 222.
Well, that's right. That's one of the innings. That also.
Against
but
South
then
Africa at Cape Town.
Yeah, but that was a tough innings for me. Like we were, like even in South Africa we were 5 down, but
58 for 5.
58 for 5 or something like that. But then this innings, like I really was struggling for form at that time. But here also, as I've said, different phases and different situations, different innings are good. But then if you really personally ask me, that was the hardest inning.
Tell me one bowler whom you found the most difficult. And he came on to bowl and he said, oh no, I have to really guard myself.
I found Courtney Walsh was a very difficult bowler to pick. As far as the best bowler I've ever faced in my life was Wasim Akram, was very, very good. And the fastest bowler I faced was Patrick Patterson. If you notice, it's the first time I got out like that, fending
a
short ball in my whole career. When I played for India, that was the fastest spell I faced of Patrick Patterson. But I think I found it difficult was Courtney Walsh because of his action. I never could pick whether the ball was coming in or going out. I just played on length.
Tell me one bowler which you were very happy about when he was bowling. Abhi isko to todunga main.
Hard to say one bowler, but it depends on how good form you're in. I think, like for example, when I played Klusner, he tried to bowl to my strength. So then that was good for me. Like he was bowling to my strength and it was good for me. Then I didn't have to do much. I just have to put bat to the ball and put it in the gap.
Any time there was that you got upset over a decision with any umpire?
Many times. Many times I've been given not out also where I have nicked it, because sometimes it's very hard for the umpire to see. But I think there are times, when a crucial time when you get out, it becomes very tough. Especially when you are playing well. Like I remember in South Africa in 1992, I was going through a very tough time. I scored 30 in the first test match, and then second test match I think I got out early. But then the one test match we were playing at Port Elizabeth, I was really batting well in that match. Like for me it was like a comeback batting, comeback innings. So I was batting 60 or something like that. I think I can't remember the bowler's name, but I think it was Alan Don or something like that. The ball cut back a lot. Then by the time I could play it, there was a big gap between bat and bat. The ball hit my back thigh, and then the wicketkeeper caught the ball, and then I was going out. Maybe that inning
showed your displeasure.
It cut short my good innings.
You showed your displeasure.
I didn't show my displeasure, but then at that time, like, what can you do? So given out, it's an umpire's decision, is final, you have to go back.
But ऐसे भी तो हुआ होगा आप कभी out होंगे और umpire ने not out दिया.
It happens. होता है. Every player, everybody goes through that. Maybe sometimes you feel that you are out leg before or something, but the umpire feels you are not. There are sometimes you feel you are plumb, you walk off.
You were known to walk off, on your own.
Yes, of course I did, many times.
But did you do it every time?
I can't remember. I must not have done once or twice, but most of the time I did.
Tell me, there are umpires and then there are commentators. How did you feel when commentators and even some columnists started writing about you? When your captaincy, they criticized. I remember when I was growing up and reading Rajan Bala. He's no more, but he was particularly very harsh on you. How did you hold that anger? You didn't react to the umpires, but did you react sometimes to what you read?
Maybe I must have reacted a couple of times, but I think if you want to really succeed, if you want to become a very good player, a big player or a big captain, you have to take criticism in your stride. Because in that criticism also sometimes there might be one positive thing which would be lurking in that. So you have to take that, you have to find out, you have to judge and see which one is the positive in that criticism. So if you can do that, I think then you can become a very big player. See, you don't want everybody to write good things about you, good things, okay, fine,
you're a good player.
It is not possible, it is not possible humanly. But at the end of the day, criticism is very, very good for health. You should take criticism in your stride. If you're not done well, okay, fine, if you're not done well. Sometimes people overdo it, but then Mr. Rajan Bala was like, he must have written many times articles which were not very displeasing, which were not pleasing to me. But I think he was my very good friend. You know, it's like I used to sit and discuss cricket with him, although he wrote things like that. So I don't have any grudge against him. But I think in one article he wrote about my this thing. I think it was in 2006 or 7. I think 7 it was. I think it was a very good article. So I mean, he was a very good friend of mine. He was a very knowledgeable person actually with cricket. You know, although he had, I don't know whether he had played cricket or not, but I think he had immense and tremendous knowledge about the game. So now he's no more, you know, but I think, I mean, I respect him. You know, he was a very nice person at the end of the day.
So we are going back to the movie very soon. But just one question on the commentators. Harsha has written your book.
Correct.
And now आज उसको commentary देने से मना कर दिया है. How did you react to that?
Well, I think it is very sad, you know. I mean, it has happened to me. I think he's done his job for so many years, and I think he's done very well. I mean, according if you ask me, I think he's done very well. But I don't know. But I think I feel it is slightly unfair. It's my very personal opinion, with no bias towards him. You know, I think he's my very good friend. I think he's played with me in university cricket. You know, when I was playing for Nizam College, he was playing for the Osmania University. We have played a lot of games. So I think I feel it is very unfair, but I really don't know what exactly transpired or
has he spoken to you?
I did speak to him, and I did speak to him, and I said, if I can do anything for him, I will be most happy to do that. But I think we'll have to wait and see what happens.
How did he react?
No, naturally he'll be very sad because that's his job. I mean, it's like telling the lawyer, you know, an advocate, practicing advocate or a doctor, okay, you're not going to practice from today, because that's what he is trained for. That's what he is put in when he was young. So it is a bit harsh.
Coming back to the film, Azhar, did you ask for any changes? You have seen the film now. How do you?
I did see the film in bits and pieces. So whichever I felt, I always ask for changes. I think I'm sure they will come out in maybe another 3 or 4 days. I'll see the whole film, so we'll be able to really decide exactly what.
Are there any particular scenes?
Not exactly. There's some things here and there, but it is not very big. But I think sometimes, you know, you have to, I mean, as long as I see the film properly, then I can tell you more.
Do you still watch cricket?
Yes, I do. Sometimes.
Do you go to the stadium? Do you follow the
If I get an opportunity to go to the stadium, I go. But sometimes it's very hard to go into the stadium, you know, because I'm traveling or mostly I'm commentating with Azhar. So I don't. So I'm commentating in that match. So I'm in the studio. So I'm actually not allowed to go.
Why did you join politics suddenly?
Well, I joined politics because I felt that, I mean, with my name and with my whatever little stature I have, you know, I mean, I'll be able to do a lot of work for the people of my constituency, whichever constituency I chose, which was Moradabad at that time, you know, and I'm very happy that I have done a lot of hard work and connected with people, because when I was playing cricket, it was only till like ground, you know, and then adulation at the ground, and then back to the hotel, attending functions and all. It was restricted to that only. But now with politics, I have travelled all over India. You know, I've seen the worst of situations, seen the best of situations. So I felt that, you know, that was my it was my honest intention that I should do something for mankind, and I think I have succeeded a little bit.
Can we have another Azharuddin in the team? Do you see anybody close to you?
They need more better Azharuddin than them, because Azharuddin is a very small person. You know, like there are some players who are better and bigger. I'm sure attitudes in cricket will always change. I think because cricket has become a part of a growing society. So I'm sure there will be players who will come. I mean, outstanding players. But about myself, you know, it's very hard for me to say. I think.
Now, do you see anybody as graceful, as effortless as you? I think we had VVS Lakshman coming a little close to you, but.
Well, I think wrist work, as far as I see, you know, that I don't see many players who play with wrist. I mean, maybe it is a thing that, you know, people from south only can become more wristy. So I would want things to change. You know, people can from north, east, and west can also become.
ऐसे क्यों होता है? Because
I really don't know.
Because you're beefed up here, so that you know.
No, I really don't know. I mean, it just happens. It came naturally to me. I actually, if you really want to know what I felt about my play, because when I came into Test cricket, I did not know anything about wrist work or something like that. I just knew that, I mean, I have to go score runs. That was my most important thing. But then when I started playing at that level when there was totally media coverage and all, then I realized that then people started talking, then writing, commentators talking, then I realized that, oh, I have a risky game. That till then I did not know anything about this.
Do you see a Sachin Tendulkar in Virat Kohli? You have played
Well, I
with
think he's a
Sachin.
great player. Virat Kohli is a good player. Consistency, I mean, his outstanding consistency. I mean, his hunger for run is always there. While fielding also, I think he's been one of the finest fielders. Yesterday he got a lot of presence of mind. Actually, everybody was appealing for a leg before decision, which I thought was very close and was out. But then the umpire thought it otherwise, and then he was not looking at, because Smith had already set off for a single, and then he was at point he came and
IPL
did the run out. I think a lot of presence of mind. He's got a very good attitude towards the game.
But do you see a Sachin Tendulkar in him?
Very hard to say at this point of time, because it's very difficult to compare two people, because what Sachin has become is over a period of time, in 24 years time. So we have to give that much time for Virat Kohli to.
Are you in touch with your teammates?
Well, sometimes if I see
Those
them,
who
I
played
say
with
hello.
you.
If I see them, I say hello to them, because they have their lives. Everybody busy in their own lives. So I mean, hardly, not much.
That is, if you bump into them,
Yes,
ऐसा
of
नहीं कि
course,
phone कर लिया.
Sometimes I do. So Kapil Paji calls me, different people. I also call him.
Have you made sure that they don't get hurt in this film at any point? Because
But I think there's nothing hurtful in this film.
For
to
the
be very
other-
honest,
okay,
it is nothing hurtful.
for them.
For that matter, anybody.
Okay, tell me the other part of the film. When you saw Prachi Desai and Nargis doing their part,
Well, I think
playing Noreen and Sangeeta.
No, I think Prachi has really done a very good job.
How do you
I really
rate
admire the way she's played the job. I think she's done outstanding work. And Nargis has always been a glamorous girl. I think so. He's on that part. He's done very glamorously. I think both of them really worked very hard. I think they have done the research very well.
So now, at the end of the day, you have made the right decision that you wanted this film to be made because you were a little slow in saying yes.
No,
What do you think now?
I make the right.
When you've seen the film?
I make the right decision. I think because it is done with my consent, so it has to be a good decision only.
Your son has assisted in the film.
Yes, I did. I was not there, but when the shooting was happening in Hyderabad, I think he did assist them. When I asked him, he said it's a very, good experience, and he was very happy to that. But I think since you have taken the name of my director of the film, I think he's done very good job, outstanding job. I think he's worked very hard all the time. He was on the phone, whenever he was shooting. Also, where he couldn't understand something, he would really call and.
Yeah, he has been very passionate about the film because I've met him on a couple of occasions.
Yes, he's a very passionate person.
And he knows you very well also. I think that made it more easier.
Yes, I suppose.
So your son wants to make a debut in films?
Well, I think he's already got offer in Tollywood film, so I'm sure he'll has to do it now.
Tell me, when you learned that Tony was directing the film, Tony has not directed a successful film. His earlier two films didn't do well. Did that play on your mind for a minute?
No, not exactly, because success is not, success comes and goes, it is not,
you have seen
success, you have lots of ups and downs, everybody cannot succeed the way others would do, but I think sometimes slow and steady success also stays for long.
You have seen tougher times.
Yes, if you are tough, if you last tough times, then it becomes very good. When you get good times, then you can really enjoy, you can sit back and see, oh, I've worked very hard, times were tough, it was very, very tough. Now things are easy.
Azhar, how was it during that time, those 12 years? Who stood by you? How did you cope up with yourself in that time?
No, I think if you ask me one word, if I can ask, it is patience. I think is the most important thing, because I think it's the best healer of time. So for me, I think I was being very patient, but I think my family was always there, my parents, my everybody, and Sangeeta was also there all the time. She was supportive of everything. And then the most important, I know the family was always there. She was also there, Sangeeta was also there, but I think the most important support I got was from Kapil Paji. He was really there, and then Sachin Gangarpur, who is no more now. He was always his support.
Who came up to you and said, "Do you want to be the captain?"
Yes, his support was unparalleled, and Paji's support and Mr. Kamal Murarka's support, I think, is unparalleled. I don't even have words to really thank them, but I think it was outstanding. But I think my family's support was most important at that time, and then Sangeeta's support also was very important.
So before we close this, I must tell you that you know how big a fan I have been of yours.
Thank you
You
very
know,
much.
we were I mean, when you were scoring that third century of yours, and I was in college, and we had this transistor, and we were in the lab.
Oh.
और बाजू में flame जल रहा था और बाजू में ether liquid पड़ा था, which is very volatile. So when you got that 100, मुझे कुछ नहीं सूझा और मैंने वो flame उठा के और करीब कर लिया ether के.
Oh.
And immediately that flame got fire
got
and
fire.
it hit me here.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Straight, and I lost some of my hair also in the front.
Oh.
And I ran to the mirror, and
got
you know, I was worried that I've lost a few of my hair. So my teacher came running back and said, "Why have you done this? What was happening?" So I told her about you. She said, "Yeah, but that is all right. You know, you're worried about your hair. You almost burnt your face."
Of course, luckily, nothing happened.
So that was the craze.
I'm very happy.
That was the craze, and we don't have that craze for most of the players.
Oh,
Do you think T20 has contributed to that?
no,
IPL
not
has
exactly. I think
contributed to
a lot of people have craze. You know, it's nothing like not the craze like you went to the extent of taking that flame. I mean, on your.
नहीं, but वो जो
thing
stars, cricketers were stars.
But I think cricketers stars they are very big stars now. All the cricketers, you know, with so much hype, so much. At that time when I was playing, there was not much of media. Media came in very late. But now I think even with the like under 15, under 12 players, you know, who scores 100, you know, they are already in media already. And at that time, for us, media came very late.
I think I should rephrase this question. Are you happy with the T20 and the IPL format? Let
I
me put
think
it straight.
it's very good. I'm very happy, you know, because I think it's throwing up a lot of good players, you know, like players who will play maybe 3 or 4 years down the line. I think they will get chances very quickly if you do well in IPL and T20, IPL and the other T20 games also. I think it's good for the game, you know, it's a change, you know, because I think maybe tomorrow something else will come up, you know, because attitudes in cricket will always change, as I've said to you, because the game has become a part of a growing society. I mean, when the society is growing also, the game is also growing.
We'll close that on that positive note.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Azhar. Thank you for being with us.